Hey guys, it's MX Reloaded, and yeah, you can't try to knife me. Get off of me. Alright. But, hey, I'm back, and I'm making another video right now, and this is a little bit of Armored Kill, Armored Shield gameplay. We have some other Armored Kill maps mixed in with this commentary as well, but right now it's just Armored Shield, just trying to get some mine kills for those unlocks. And I really like this DLC. We're going to talk about the DLC and patch today, just in general, because we've been playing with them for a while, and I'm just going to give my overall summary opinion on both. My thoughts on the DLC are that it's really nice. The maps are beautiful and massive, and it just like reminds me of old Battlefield, where it's just like, you know, there's a lot more of tanks and a lot more of like vehicles that you have to worry about, and just being vulnerable all the time. It's kind of like the old Battlefield. You had to mind everything you did. But Rush in this, it's trying to mix Rush with the old Battlefield, like non-urban maps. Like Karkin DLC was like Battlefield 2 urban maps, and this is more like a lot more of the 2142 style thing. That I have no idea what I was trying to do right there. I have no clue. Don't even ask. It's embarrassing. Yeah, but I really think that Rush is not designed to be played on these maps. Not even close. It's just not really designed well for it. There's no real frontline feel. They just paradrop behind you. Even with the patch they have, it's not enough. Because they can just paradrop, like literally, like it's almost like it's like that scene in Metro where you're like, if you look up in the sky, you can see tons of paratroopers dropping out of the back. It's like that. And it's like scary because it's just tons of guys just all coming straight towards you. That's not really my favorite thing about this DLC. Is my biggest peeve is the Rush. I think that the funnest thing with Rush, though, the only way that Rush is really fun either way is if your team that you're attacking and your team is terrible. If your team is terrible and you're attacking, it is so fun because it's actually a challenge. I mean, it tends to not be a challenge when you do not have any sort of any type of real like team. Like, you know, if your team is at all good, then they're just gonna paradrop behind. And I'll put up the example gameplay. We actually lost our game, but it was really fun because it was just felt really, with the Armored Kill maps, it just felt really epic to play with that. And right here we're playing some, is it Tank Domination or Tank? I forget the name. All I know is a Tank One Flag Conquest sort of thing. And this mode is actually, I've only played a little bit of this, but it's actually pretty fun. I have to say, I gotta give it some credit. I prefer, you know, Conquest for these maps, but this works. The only problem is that people just go on the outside of the map and kind of attack you from there, and that does get a little bit annoying. But yeah, this is a really fun DLC. I mean, I love the variety they put into the maps. The new vehicles that they have just are awesome. I still have to put some upgrades on them that I need to, and yeah, it's really fun. It's just a unique, different type of play style and different type of experience from, you know, normal Battlefield. Battlefield 3, at least. Normal Battlefield 3 is not necessarily normal Battlefield in the whole grand scheme of things. I do have to say that probably it's better than Close Quarters for sure. Karkin is probably a little bit better than this, in my opinion, though. What else? Alright, so the patch. The patch is now what we're going to talk about. And I think overall, just like kind of this DLC, the patch is pretty good. I like how they more have buffed things as opposed to just leaving them be as they were, kind of. Or nerf them. Because what they've tended to do with DICE is they tend to either say, oh yeah, we're nerfing something, and then they hardly nerf it. Or they'll say, oh, or they won't even announce really that they're nerfing, and then they'll nerf something all the way until it's completely gone. And that's just kind of annoying. The one thing I found really annoying about how they kind of do that. And here we're playing a little bit of Conquest on Bondar Desert. As you can probably see. Nice and fun. I didn't put the full gameplay in because it was pretty long, but yeah, probably should have, because the ATV part of this is pretty fun. I just kind of messed around at an ATV at the end of the game because our team wasn't getting close to a win. Yeah, it's pretty good, but I think that one of the things that with the nerfs that they could have done is that they kind of did the stereotypical DICE thing where they just say, we're going to nerf it, but then they end up not really nerfing it. And that's what I kind of feel like they did for the M16. The M16's good, but it's not, it's not nearly what it used to be. It's not the god of a weapon that, you just point and everyone in the way dies, pretty much. But it's gotten that considerable vertical recoil. But really, anybody can compensate for that. Anybody can just pull down their mouse or joystick or whatever that you're using down more. It's not that hard. It's not hard to compensate for it, and I think that pretty much you can just keep on using the M16 if you wanted to. I am not going to recommend it, but because I just am tired of seeing that gun in general. But go ahead and do whatever you want. M16 is not really that much different, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. One of the things I am actually really unhappy that they were doing, and the M416 patch, they buffed it beyond what I thought they should have buffed it. Like, I was a real stickler for it. I loved using it before the patch because it was just fun. It was a gun that was a fair challenge that was good, but wasn't, like, great. It was probably the second best gun in the game, in my opinion, for assault. It wasn't able to compete with the M16 in any way, shape, or form at the time, in any sort of straight-up competition, but it was really good. It was just a fun gun. It had recoil that you had to compensate for, and it was, usable. Now it's been buffed way, way, way more than it should have been. It literally feels like it has no recoil. And that's not good because, if you buff a gun beyond what it should be buffed, it's just what everyone ends up using. And the M416 is good. It's not as good as the M16 in close range, but it's still one heck of a gun. Just overall, I've used it briefly just to kind of, because some guy was camping a corner and I was upset. Let's just put it at that. And so I pull out the M416 and I easily get 10 kills. It's in one life. It's just, I'd been struggling all game and I just start using this. And it kind of upsets me that they did this, because I think they should just bring it back to what it used to be. Maybe increase the reload time, decrease the reload time, sorry. But how it was, in my opinion, perfectly fine. I think that they could have just kept it just how it was, and it would have still destroyed people. It's a great gun. If they had nerfed the M16 a little bit more and kept the M416 just as it was, I feel like this would save a lot of problems. The AEK got a little tiny buff in the reload time, which is handy because it has a really slow reload time, but I kind of throw the M416 in the same category as the AEK, as the M16 kind of now, because it's an easy gun. So what do you guys think about the patch and DLC? I am pretty satisfied with both. It may not sound like it, but in general I'm pretty satisfied with both. So leave your thoughts in the comments. Thanks.